Andrew McCART, IFL TV. Delighted as always to be joined by my friend, Mr. Sam Jones. Sam, before we jump straight into it, how are you this morning?
I'm tired, mate. But yeah, all good, all good. The kids wake me up, mate. The kids wake me up, so I'm always up 6:30 every morning, regardless of any time differences or anything like that. So no, all good. I'm just in a
I'm lucky.
still.
My wife's got the kids up and left me sleeping for a couple of hours, so I'm lucky that way.
She's a good one. She's a
Oh,
good
she
one.
definitely is. Listen, Sam, let's just jump straight into it. What did we witness last night, Fury and Ngannou?
Um, mate, I'm in a complete. I'm not exaggerating at all when I say this. Promise, cross my heart. I'm not exaggerating. Still in a state of disbelief. I couldn't sleep last night thinking about it. The fight has nothing to do with me. I've got no emotional attachments, and I know Tyson, known him for many years, but I've got no real emotional attachment to the event or that. And I was literally, as a boxing fan, forget working in boxing. As a boxing fan, I'm just like, what the fuck did we just watch there? Like, he's won a contentious
Sam, this is the
decision.
first time I've seen you. This is the first time I've seen you lost for words, mate.
Andrew, listen, this is organic, mate. I'm completely completely lost for words. Tyson Fury, the heavyweight champion of the world, the number one heavyweight in the world, has lost has won a contentious decision against a fucking debutant. That's just the reality of it. Like, Francis Ngannou outdid anyone's expectations. So when people say, "Oh, Sam tweeted this," yeah, I did. I didn't think it would be competitive. Hands up, I didn't think it'd be competitive at all. Never mind, probably should have nicked it. Like, Andrew, what do you say? I just think the only thing I can half compare it to, Andrew, right, is there's a few reasons. Did Tyson not treat this with any respect at all? Did he not train at all? Has he got the right people around him? Is Tyson finished? Is he not? Is he not? Listen, it happens to everybody. Father Time catches up to catches up with everybody. Do you know what I mean? It avoids no man. It has Tyson got old overnight? Has the do you know what I mean? The activity and has it caught up to him? Or is Francis Ngannou just an absolute beast in there? Physical strength, is it? I don't know. But what it looked like to me is when you go to a circus sometimes, Andrew, right? And you watch and you see a bear that doesn't really want to be in the circus perform, and it doesn't really want to perform, and then that's just Tyson looked to me like a bear that didn't want to be a part of that. Like, and he was just, you could see it from round one. It was like, does Tyson even want to be in there? I think, listen, we were all looking forward to the undisputed fight, but for me, that fight's kind of, the commercial value of that fight has took a huge hit, Andrew. Took a huge hit, and that's just not me that's just me. That's just the reality of the situation. It's took a huge hit. Boxing, I love boxing, Andrew. Honestly, I love boxing with all my heart. Like, it's, I think, the best sport in the world. But is that the reality check that boxing probably needed last night, doing these crossovers? And has boxing took a hit? Like, Tyson Fury's credibility. Like, I actually feel for Tyson this morning, because he will be feeling like embarrassed. I think that's probably the only word. I think Tyson will feel embarrassed last night. And I think Tyson, being the man he will want to probably correct that before he has any kind of undisputed fight. But I honestly, Andrew, I don't know. Just also massive credit to Francis Ngannou. I don't want to take nothing away from him at all. I still don't think Francis Ngannou would, like, from what I'm hearing as well, I'm hearing from a reliable source, he's going to be ranked in the top 10 in the WBC now. I'm probably on merit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's just beaten
the... So, yeah, if the WBC, listen, the WBC, that's something they would do, mate, to be honest.
Yeah, he's arguably just beaten the heavyweight champion of the world. He didn't get it, and Tyson went. And I will watch it again, because I don't want to say, oh, it was a robbery, because I want to watch it again. And I didn't score the fight, because I was more like, fucking Kevin McAllister like this watching the fight last night. Like I wasn't scoring it. I was like just thinking, I think Ngannou's winning here. And when he dropped him, I'm like, okay, he's definitely fucking winning now.
Mhm.
It was a mad one, Andrew, a complete mad one for boxing. But listen, hands up, I got it. But I'm not alone getting that wrong yesterday. We all got it wrong. And anyone that knows anything about boxing predicted Tyson Fury ends the fight whenever he wants. And ultimately, that's the worst Tyson's looked since the John McDermott first fight. And that's just the reality. It's going to be not a hard sell for the undisputed fight now, Andrew. But the commercial value of Tyson Fury has took a huge hit. It was a has he got the right people around him? Andrew, all these questions, see me, right? If I'm Tyson Fury, no, this is me speaking on the cuff, so I'll probably get, I don't know, people telling me off. But if I'm Tyson Fury, I'm ringing Chris Jericho, Ben Davison. I'm ringing him on the spot, and I'm saying we need to link up again, because I think. I don't know whether I don't know. I don't. It's just me speaking on the cuff as I do. I'm probably gonna get stick for saying that, but I think Tyson Fury should be calling Ben Davison this morning.
Sam, let me ask you. You touched on an undisputed fight, so let me ask you this then: was it wrong for them to announce the Usyk fight 3 weeks ago? Because Tyson's obviously gotten Francis Ngannou ahead of him, but now they've announced the fight for Usyk. Tyson's going to go in there with the mindset that don't get cut, don't get hurt, all these sort of variables that go into a fight. He's not 100% on Ngannou because he's got this Usyk at the back end.
Regardless of that, Andrew, let's be honest. Tyson Fury has turned up to fights in poor shape before, but always got the job done. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's always like, we know Tyson's a bit of a freak of nature, isn't he? But when you do get older, things do catch up with you, because Tyson wasn't his elusive self last night. Like, we know Tyson's fast. He didn't look fast last night. He looked like a shadow of himself. Like, I'm just like choked for words, really. Like, I sound like Gareth Gates in his Pop Idol audition this morning. Like, I've got no idea, mate, how to kind of break it down. All I know is that it was a bit of a disaster it was a huge disaster for Tyson Fury and the Tyson Fury business last night. I mean, after that, I don't know. I really don't know. All I can put it down to is those things that I said in the third. Did Tyson Fury train a day in his life for that fight? Did he prepare for that fight? Has he got old overnight, which happens to everybody, happens to absolutely everybody. So there's no shame in that. But reality is, he's just won a contentious decision against a debutant. That's the reality of it.
Sam, let me say this as well. Obviously, that fight week, you've seen it, and it was all playful, and they were tickling each other face off, and it was that there was no. Obviously, it was a little bit too playful for my liking when you're going into a fight. Do you know what I mean? And maybe again, that's all these variables that we can talk about that Tyson Fury. Because I'm the same ship as you. I'm the same boat as you. I thought Tyson could end it when he wanted. I said Tyson's in the middle round. Tyson will knock him out in the middle rounds.
But that's not being disrespectful to Francis Ngannou either. This is two different disciplines. Listen, we saw what happened with the Conor McGregor Mayweather fight. Mayweather carried Conor in that fight. Like, he did carry him in that fight. But as I say, great athlete McGregor, and Francis Ngannou clearly a freak of nature, like athlete wise. But ultimately, Andrew, we all thought, and there's whoever can be smug this morning saying, "Oh, this happened." Like, if you know anything about boxing, anybody within the sport predicted a comfortable, career easiest Tyson Fury win last night, and it turned out to be the complete opposite. It turned out to be an absolute Tyson Fury's worst nightmare come true.
Sam, I'll ask it then. Was it too playful then, that fight week? Was it too playful, too nice?
Well, we've seen Tyson Fury do that with boxers. Sefer Sefri, when he was out for 3 years, he came back, kissed him he picked him up at the and I'm not before these people say, oh, Sefer Sefri, Ngannou. I'm clearly two different athletes, but to Tyson, that's the way Tyson goes, isn't it? Tyson is 1 minute he's serious, then he's like sticking a nut in on Ngannou. Like, well, I don't know. Ultimately, the undisputed fight for me has just it's just like made me not look forward to it. I mean, I don't think it would be an amazing kind of fight anyway. But now, Andrew, I don't know, mate. I really, it's crazy to think about what we've just witnessed last night. It is, and it will live long in the memory. It really will. That picture of Ngannou standing over Tyson Fury, regardless of anything, Francis Ngannou's the real winner of yesterday, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. 100%. Listen, we all know his backstory and where he's come from. And
unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Well, I'll ask you this then, Sam. Does Francis Ngannou stick around in boxing, and can he cause problems to the other heavyweights in that top 5, top 10?
Does he stick around in boxing? Listen, if the paydays, I mean, I heard he got some huge money last night in Ngannou. So if he gets offered to fight Anthony Joshua in Africa, he's taking it, isn't he? Because it's going to be for a load of money. But I know I'll get stick for this again, but I think Anthony Joshua just beats Ngannou easily. Like I do. I still think that. I just think, because it's hard to take away from someone's performance, and because I don't want to discredit Ngannou, because he performed out of his skin last night, and I know I'll get loads of abuse saying, "Oh, he should be." Hear me out. Sometimes we don't credit the winner enough, and we always say there's an excuse. But I do think it was just because Tyson Fury was so terrible last night.
Because I was watching the fight, and Tyson was trying to draw Ngannou's lead, and he was doing a lot of feints, wanting Ngannou to come over his front leg, and Ngannou just was standing in the same position all fight. He wasn't.
And Ngannou had good people around him. Ngannou had good people. Listen, he had Mike Tyson in his corner. He had I forget the guy that was in his corner. He was in
Louis Cooper or something like his name is.
I'm sure he was in Bermain Stavern's corner as well. He's a good coach. He really is a good coach. I'm sorry, I don't know. I forget his name, but he's a very, very good coach. Look, regardless of anything, nobody this morning predicted what happened last night. Nowhere, no, and if they did, it would be the same people that said McGregor would have beaten Mayweather. It's those people. And by the way, I hope you've made a fortune. Do you know what I mean? Imagine if they put a knockdown, Francis Ngannou to knock Fury down. If anyone that put that bet on, credit to you this morning. I hope you've made a fortune. But it's just mad to think about, isn't it? Like, it's just.
I'll make you think then, Sam. I'll make you think. What are you, right? You're Alexander Usyk. You've woke up this morning. What's going through your mind?
Get the fight on December 23rd, and let's go now. And then he'll fight Ngannou afterwards.
Rematch Ngannou. You think Ngannou deserved it, to be fair?
Ngannou deserves another opportunity. Fact. Like, he's just gone in there, and let's be honest, he gave a better account than, like, there's no danger about when Wilder. Obviously, Wilder's been in 3 great fights with Tyson Fury, but not once has he beaten Tyson Fury. That draw was not a draw; it was a robbery. Ngannou performed better against Tyson Fury than the others, but I don't want to discredit Ngannou, because he's literally what a phenomenal human being as well. But I do think it was just Tyson Fury being that terrible last night. It looked like he'd never boxed before. I've been in countless camps. I've been in countless camps with Tyson Fury where I'm just like sitting there thinking, how on earth does he move like that, being as heavy as he is? How is that? You know, Andrew, you've seen Tyson Fury in camp, in sparring, and he's unbelievable. But last night, his feet were flat. His punches were slow. He couldn't get his backhand. He couldn't do anything. He just couldn't do anything. He looked like, literally, do you remember Space Jam, when they come and steal your talent, those basketballers' talent? That's what, like, he looked like a little alien flown from space, took Tyson Fury's talent, and it was the Space Jam version of Tyson Fury last night.
I love your analogies, mate. See them.
Listen, I'll probably get stick for that, but that's the only thing I can think of. The Space Jam analogy, mate. That's what it looked like yesterday with Tyson Fury. Some little alien from space has just come and stolen his talent.
I want to go on Eddie Hearn's comments. Did you see Eddie Hearn's comments from Mexico saying like nobody wants to see the Usyk fight, and you just fight Joshua, because if they don't get it on now, that fight will never happen?
I don't agree with the fact nobody will want to see it, because, listen, if the fight happens with Usyk, we're all going to watch it, whereas boxing fans will. But commercially, from the wider audience, people are just going to go, well, he's just lost to Ngannou. This is what the wider audience, I'm not saying I'm saying that, because I'm going to watch it back. It was close regardless, but I'm not going to say he out and out, he got robbed. So I'm going to watch it back. But commercial value of that fight has took an atomic bomb. So we will still watch it, all of the boxing pit, and it still exists for Undisputed, but it's just diluted it massively, in my opinion. Going back to Eddie's comments, I agree with him on the AJ Fury thing. I don't think we'll ever see that fight happen now. I don't think we'll ever see that fight.
It's a for British boxing if we don't. Do you know what I mean? Very, very.
And this is what I mean. Like we need one thing's for certain, Andrew. Right? And I said this to a few people last night in my messages. Boxing, right? And this is me. I'm whatever people want to call me. The fighters I'm involved, I want to be involved in making the biggest and best fights possible. Honestly, we want to see all these big fights at least happen, the big domestic fights, because I think British boxing needs a kick up the arse. I want to see like more Wood Warringtons, Michael Conlons against the Warringtons, Eubank Ben, the AJ Furies, the domestic Catchall Taylor. I want to see all of these big fights happen and take place in the UK, because British boxing needs a rocket. It really does. It needs a rocket, because when we get it right over here, we get it really right. But no, it's time to you've got to make the biggest and best fights, because sometimes, like for a prime example, we wanted to see Usyk Fury. There was no reason for the Usyk Fury fight not to happen next, and Tyson Fury's had this fight with Ngannou, and it's just made the whole thing was just like it was just mental what's happened. And I don't know who said it, but it's like when you play daft games, you get daft prizes. Like that is what it comes down to, Andrew. That is what it comes down to. Going on the production last night, unbelievable setup, unbelievable production. But it was just, I don't know. I was
a lot of waiting. I would say it was a lot of waiting about. Like I was almost
too much waiting about.
Yeah.
I think it was a little overcooked. I think you tried a little bit.
Teething problem.
Yeah, tried a little bit too hard. I mean, the pundits earned their money last night. I mean, Jesus, Laura Woods, Bunsey, all of them were on freestyle, weren't they, last night? Yeah. But I don't know, Andrew. I'm speaking on off the cuff, like what I always do. I rehearse anything like what I say about it. So I'd come out of some bollocks or whatever I've said, but I just still can't get over what we've seen last night, because the reality of the situation is the lineal heavyweight champion of the world, the current WBC world champion, ranked #1 heavyweight in the world on BoxRec, whatever that means, has just had a contentious decision against a debutant.
Sam, what we'll say about Francis Ngannou, mate, is even though he is a debutant, he's still a fighter. He's trained all his days. He's
unbelievable,
and he's a striker. He wasn't in the UFC. He wasn't a wrestler. He went into a boxing gym to start with. So I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to give Tyson Fury some leeway, but when we're talking about a debutant, we are talking about a guy who is a fighter, who can take a shot, who can throw hands, but he has came into a discipline which he's never done before. So credit to Ngannou. But where does Tyson Fury go? Does he? Because it looked like, I'll say this, when you've seen Usyk and Fury in the ring, I was watching it and I was deflated. I was flat. I wasn't like, yes, this is the undisputed heavyweight title fight. I was sort of looking at that.
It was the worst. It was, let's be honest, it was the worst.
Tyson as well looked a little bit flat the way they were.
It was because they know. They're not stupid. These are guys, do you know what I mean? They know the sport. It's when they announced it, that's like, it's the biggest fight. Like, guys, like,
yeah.
Like, let's time out here, guys. Let's get together and address what's happened, because ultimately, if you ask me what I prefer to see, you've got to give Ngannou the rematch. You've got to give Ngannou, because it's just going to be stained for the rest. Oh, you lost to a debutant. That's what he's going to get. And it's sad, because Tyson Fury has had an unbelievable career. What a story, coming back from what he came back from. Unbelievable story. But the reality of the situation is he's just had a contentious points majority win against a debutant. And you can call it whatever you want. Say Ngannou's this and say he's a debutant, never boxed before in his life.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's a talking point. It's going to be a talking point for the next week or two, which is going to keep me.
Week or two? Think a bit longer than that, Andrew.
Yeah,
and
next
this is
month,
boxing.
then.
News passes quick in boxing, but I think this is going to be one that's going to stick in our minds for a long time to come.
Sam, can I run through the undercard quickly with you? And we'll just
Yeah, of course.
quick fire. Martin Bakoli's win against Takam.
I thought Martin Bakoli was in terrible shape. However, can't criticise his performance. Beast. Great performance.
Moses Atuma.
Incredible talent.
Joseph Parker.
The guy he boxed was awful, but got the job done. And I'm happy for Big Joe because he's a lovely man.
Big, huge Russian nightmare. I'm going to call him the nightmare. Mark Madov.
Yeah. You'd shit yourself if you turned the light in your bedroom and he was hovering over you.
That's true.
He looks like something out. He looks like something out of a horror movie. Like no disrespect, but he had the Bill Goldberg kind of twitch going on a bit there. Big, scary bastard. That's what he is.
And obviously the British title fight, Wardley Adley. I think Wardley boxed absolutely brilliant. And I'm telling you something, Wardley can box, and I think he's got a chin as well. I think he can take a shot.
Wardley keeps surprising me, to be honest. I thought it'd be a lot more difficult than what it was last night. I thought he beat David Adelaide comfortably. I like David Adelaide, got on with him very well, but ultimately it was an easy fight for Fabio Wardley in the end. Listen,
Sam, what's next for you? I know you're in Newcastle was it next weekend? No, 2 weeks.
Yeah, you're going to be there. You're going to be there. Yeah, your neck of the woods. So
Newcastle,
not your neck of the woods, but well, it's close, isn't it? It's close-ish.
It's close. Hours away, but still.
We've got coming up. We've got Ben and Owen Reese on that show. We've got Mark Dickinson in an English title eliminator against Grant Dennis, and we've got Cameron Vong, superstar of the sport. Phenomenal. Can't wait to be there for that with all the boys. We've got Dan Toward making his debut on the Lee McGregor undercard at the Isaac Lowe fight. Is going to be a standout fighter, Dan Toward. Looking forward to that. And I think that's pretty much going to be it for this year. For this year. Good year. Jack Catchell going to be back out in February, working on a massive fight for him, Andrew. So looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it. The huge 2024 coming up.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait for it as well. And hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully, boxing gets it right. I think boxing this year's got it right in some terms with Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia, and Spence Crawford. Do you know what I mean? And Canelo.
Boxing does this, doesn't it? It's snakes, ladders. It's just I don't know, but boxing does need to do better, Andrew. We need to make everybody, all the promoters need to work together. Managers need to work together. We need to make the biggest and best fights for the fans to get people buzzing about this great sport, which I believe is the best sport in the world.
Sam, I second that. I think it's the best sport in the world, especially when we get it right. You just need to look at some of the fights. Even Wood Warrington, what a fight that was.
We need to see more of them, Andrew. Like what I said, we need to see more Wood Warringtons, because domestic fights, especially, the fans love. I love a domestic fight. Let's see all these big fights get made, Andrew, and let's make boxing great again.
Okay, Donald Trump, that's perfect. That's the way to end it. And Sam, listen, I appreciate your time as always, my man.
Donald Trump, the Donald.
The Donald. What are you putting your socks on? You going for a run this morning?
Do you know what? I've actually lost quite a bit of weight, so I'm not actually that much of a fat bastard. No, mate, I'm not doing any exercise today. Back in the gym tomorrow morning, Andrew.
I've seen your Instagram, mate. I've seen you working. Don't think I'm not watching you.
You have to when you get old, and when you get a bit old and a bit greyer, you do need to apply yourself. You need to apply yourself better. I'm not the machine that you are, Andrew, but I'm not. I'm
10 years older than you, Sam. I'm 10 years older than you.
Yeah, not that 10 years older than me. Listen, you just can't be a big pork chop when you're 35 onwards. You can't be a big pork chop.
Definitely, I totally agree with you, Sam. Listen, I'll see you in Newcastle, brother, and and you enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And like I said, I'll speak to you soon, my man.
Nice one, bro. See you in a bit, Andrew.
Thanks, Sam. Thanks, mate.